Welcome to Courtside Moms. I'm your host, Wendy Sparks. Today, my guest is Rochelle Johnson, mother of Olympian of Team USA, Keldon Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs. We have so much to talk about, so let's bring Rochelle on the show. Welcome, Rochelle, to the show. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to spend with me so we can talk about Keldon.
No problem.
So let's go back to your first memory of him first falling in love with basketball.
Gosh, when he could barely walk. I mean, he's just always been compassionate about basketball since he was little, even when we had the little tykes. And it's so funny. My aunt, when he was just like in a car seat, she said, his little feet are just going. And I just remember, I said, he's going to do great things in life with those feet. And so, yeah, since he was little, I mean, all we've done is basketball, like as a family. I mean, his cousins played basketball in high school, in middle school and high school, in AAU ball, that sort of thing. So his dad coached Booster League every Saturday when he was little. And so they would play that starting at, I think, like 6 years old. And they won like 8 championships. In 7th grade, Keldon dunked the ball.
Wow.
For the first time, yes. In 8th grade, after the season was over, he was able to go and play with the JV team at the high school. So he's always been just really compassionate about playing basketball. I remember one of our neighbors that lived down the street saying, I used to get mad at Chris saying, why does he have those boys out there playing basketball in all that heat or in the cold or whatever? But, they just had that compassion, and especially Keldon. It didn't matter how hot it was, how cold it was. Like, yeah, they can do that. That was a choice that he made. So he's always been just compassionate about basketball since he was little. I have a picture. I'm thinking he was maybe 2 or 3, maybe 3, where he was playing basketball with his little Tykes basketball in the basement. Yeah.
That's amazing. And like you're saying, you know what? Our babies don't care about the heat. When they really focus on something, that's what they're doing. If they want to play something, it don't matter about no heat. It just bothers everybody else who's not playing. And it bothers, the one who we have to sit there and watch, the spectators.
That's right.
We're hot. So
always.
Yeah.
Always.
So let's just go to high school. Keldon went to Oak Hill Academy in Virginia.
Yes.
Talk about those days and what was it like for you to see him play then?
Oh, just exciting. I just remember we would even go during the weekday if we had to go to a game, or we couldn't make it, we would listen to it over the radio. But the team had a great bond. It's just the energy that, Keldon brings to any team or any situation. I mean, he's never met a stranger. Very outgoing. So just the energy that he brings, just we love to watch him. He's just exciting. But yeah.
I love how you said you would listen on the radio. And I'm just trying to imagine just myself listening to my son, on the radio playing basketball. I can see them sitting there with your eyes closed. And you're trying to envision
That's right.
being at the game. That's amazing. Right. That is, but you know what? As moms, it don't matter. We always find some sort of platform to watch, whether it don't make a difference where we're at, whether we're at the shopping mall, whether at the supermarket, our babies are playing.
That is so true. Because I'll pick up that phone and like if I'm en route somewhere, I'm not at the game, I'll dial it right on in.
Yeah.
Watching, listening, but yeah, it's so exciting. Steve is a great coach.
Oh, that was his high school coach. So Keldon was known as a five-star recruit. He was a McDonald All-American, and he received many offers from many different colleges. So
Yes.
tell us, what was that recruitment process like for you all? And how did you come to that final decision that Kentucky was a better fit over the other schools?
The recruitment process was very, very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It was a blessing on top of like a curse because you're so blessed to have all these colleges recruiting him, but everybody had their opinion of where they thought Keldon should go and where they thought he would fit best. And so that part I have to say was difficult. Because I had my thoughts on things. His dad had his thoughts on things. Keldon had his thoughts on things. Then you've got the coaches, meeting at Oak Hill, before school or practice, talking to them, and then you have them coming here. So it was a very difficult decision. But I think overall, he made the right decision by going to Kentucky. I think all the colleges were amazing. But Kentucky is known for one and done and preparing their athletes for the pros. And so I think that that was definitely the way to go. Because he was able to transition, very smoothly to the pros.
So this was, in fact, your second time having to choose both an academic and basketball program, as your son Caleb played for Georgetown.
Yeah.
So did you notice any differences between the two colleges with the way they recruited your son?
Yes, we had more coaches involved in coming to our home than what we experienced with Caleb. So that was like the main thing. We just had more choices, I think, with Keldon.
Yeah. That just, that those knocks on the doors all the time. Sometimes they get overwhelming, eh?
Yes. You're
like, oh my God, I can only bake so many cookies for these coaches.
That's right. So yeah, that was a pretty stressful, I must say, pretty stressful process for us. Not so much for Caleb, but for Keldon.
Yeah. And and it's a blessing that you had that opportunity twice. A lot of parents don't get it at all.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that you experienced it because you're able to give a different perspective. It's different for everybody, right? So I just love your difference. You had two different schools, two different players, two different types of players, and
That's
two different situations. You know what I mean? So your family was, to me, it's like you have more experience than a lot of other families because they just get that one shot and that's it. Where for you, irregardless of how many schools recruited Caleb, you were still more ready with Keldon.
That's right.
In my mind's right. Yeah.
That's right. You kind of live and learn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's right. And it's truly, truly a blessing, no matter how you look at it. It's truly a blessing. And I thank God each and every day for that.
That's true, because he didn't have to choose Keldon, right?
No,
and
they
didn't have to choose your family.
Like you said, they're very different, night and day. I mean, Caleb is very likable, but very quiet, kind of laid back. Like he'll be at home, you'll never know he's there. Yeah. Where Keldon, on the other hand, is loud. He makes his presence known as soon as he hits the door. Everybody knows he's here. So he's just like loud, never met a stranger, very outgoing. So they're both good athletes.
Yeah.
They just have different personalities. I mean, night and day.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kentucky is known to be a school that births NBA players.
That's right.
What do you think they saw in Keldon that piqued their interest to recruit him?
Just his hard work. I mean, Keldon gives it his all.
Yeah.
you know, so you can't just sit and you can't deny that. I mean, he just has so much compassion. And I'm gonna be honest, it shows on and off the court. It like
Yeah.
follows just wherever he goes. So I think they could see that motor in him, that drive, that and certain things you can't teach, skills
Right.
you can't teach. So just to know he has that willingness, that drive, that work ethic, that passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think definitely.
Of course, because when scouts or coaches come to see our kids, you know what I mean? They look at everything because whatever they see then is what's going to translate to their program.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
He's coachable. He's versatile. I mean, just I think he has all those great qualities.
Amazing. Was there ever a fear that he could be overlooked as there was so much talent on that roster at that time?
No, I don't think so. Because I think Keldon, shines or makes himself known
Right.
on the court. I think he does whatever he needs to do to win. He's very competitive. So I think he is, I think he just makes his presence known.
Yeah.
Whether it be, to all his teammates and everyone, his willingness just to do whatever he needs to do to put that work in so that the team can win.
Yeah, absolutely. So we all know that Kentucky's a powerhouse,
Yes.
and he played alongside other future NBA players such as Emmanuel Quigley and Tyler Hero.
That's right.
Let's talk about his time there and what were those games like for you?
Stressful, I think, at times. Because I couldn't be at every game that I wanted to be at. And of course, we wear like a lot of hats. So just trying to, juggle, work, school, like for Chrislyn, our youngest daughter, and just trying to fit it all in, trying to be Keldon's support system, and just trying to be there, when he needs us, when he needed us the most, so that was kind of hard to juggle it all. But with prayer, we got through it. And I thank God for that.
No, it's such a blessing to see and to hear because, like you're saying, here you're a parent, and you have other kids that you have to support.
That's
and
right.
Then you look at NCAA, and you know what I mean. It's so big, and the pressure, and you know what I mean. He's at practice all the time. He's on the road all the time. He's playing games all the time. He still's got to keep up with his grades. You know what I mean. He's away from mom and dad or his brothers and sisters and stuff.
That's right.
There's a lot, and so for as a parent, you know what I mean. We have to keep kids grounded when they're away from us.
That's right. That's right. And making sure that he was academically sound. That's right. Along with his game.
Yeah.
And so that can be challenging. I mean, he graduated with honors, so that was a blessing.
Yes.
For Oak Hill. But yeah, just trying to juggle all that is definitely challenging. The academic portion, as well as the practices and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a lot. So it's nice to hear that you have your son. He, like you said, he graduated with honors and he did everything he was supposed to do. And he's also playing basketball. He's working. Right. That's his job. And he, what I mean? He's doing what he loves to do.
Oh, absolutely.
He made it all through. So, and that goes to the parents. So kudos to you, Mom.
Well, thank you.
So, but what was it like for him to play for Coach Cal? And was the expectation for him to be a one and done like a lot of Kentucky players?
Yes. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons that Keldon chose to go to Kentucky, because of their reputation of being one and done. And since he was young, he has always said that he wanted to play in the NBA, and there was like no other, or you interested in doing anything else? No, NBA. So And like he says, his motto is dreams do come true. And I think that Coach Cal helped to develop him into and get him where he needed to be and prepare him for the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there one game? Absolutely. Absolutely. Was there one game that he played that made you realize, like, hold on a second, he actually can be an NBA player?
Not necessarily one game that has, particularly stuck out to me, but there has been like several games that just left me in awe. Like, that's my son. You know what I mean? I can't believe that's my son doing this. I mean, I feel like a lot of times he shows no fear. For instance, in the game when they played Zion, and you could tell that Keldon just was not, even though we didn't win that particular game, Keldon did not back down. I mean, you could see him just giving it all he had.
Yeah.
So yeah. And my hat goes off to him for that, because I think where someone else may have been maybe intimidated, I don't feel that Keldon was.
Yeah. So that's that time, or those times where he impressed you. Sometimes we look at our kids and we love our kids. Our kids are everything to us, you know what I mean? But we don't expect certain things just because we see them every day. We live with them every day.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's just like this, it's Keldon, it's my kid. But you know what I mean? But when they do these things and we're so impressed, it just puts a whole different level now for us as moms. We're like, well, hold on a second. I'm like, oh, he's doing things.
Yeah. Like he's not backing down. Like I would be, intimidated, I think, by, some of the players, and no, not Keldon. And even now that he's in the NBA, I was like, what does it, feel like to play on the same court, with some of these other players? Like, I'm like, gosh, how do you feel about it? He says, I just play to win, Mom. So, but I think I'd be like, oh my God, but
I know.
He says, I just play to win.
You know what? My son said the same thing. They're so funny. They're not starstruck like us, right?
Right.
He's looking at me like, we play. We got to win the game, and that's it. Like, he's just looking at me like, who cares? Like, I'm like, well, I care. Say hello.
That's right.
He's like, no, I'm not saying hello. I'm like, okay, whatever. But no, but it's true, because for us, I get for me. I mean, I grew up watching basketball, and then later on in life, you know what I mean? Now I'm introducing my kids to basketball. They're watching it. They're loving it. Never once did I sit there and think in my brain, my child's going to end up in the NBA. Playing against, you know what I mean? Playing against coaches that we grew up watching, playing alongside them or playing for them, or now these players are owners, or, you know what I mean? So it's amazing how it rotates the circle. So for us, I think it goes a little bit deeper, a little bit further back than from when they were born and then they started watching.
Exactly. Exactly.
I always say, my son, my memory is bigger than you. And he always laughs at me. He's like, whatever. So now at Kentucky, of course, you were saying the intent was to be a one and done. So take us to now that conversation where it was, okay, I'm declaring now, like that time where he says, this is it. How was that like for your family? And just give us like the idea of what the conversations were like in your household.
Well, it may have come across one time or another. Should he not do the one and done and maybe stay another year? But ultimately, we felt like, it was right decision. He was ready to do this. He was ready.
Yeah.
So we felt like, we don't think you need any more time. we think you're ready to go.
And I'm just curious about the peanut gallery around you. Was there anybody that said, no, I really think that your son should wait? Because there's always peanut gallery, right?
Yeah, exactly. No one in our immediate circle. No.
Yeah.
I think my mom said, one of her friends said, oh, he should stay, and get his degree. And we're just like, he can always have the opportunity to go back.
Yeah.
To, finish his degree.
Well, and that's true. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people just figured, oh, no, you should stay in school until, and then when you finish, you have that piece of paper, then you can go play. And it's like, that's not how this works all the time.
That's right. And right when that iron's hot.
Thank you. Thank you. And especially now, like you're saying, there's options. So sometimes I had a lot of people in the peanut gallery too that just told me a million things, and it was hard to figure out which direction to go to. But in the end, you got to go with your gut.
That's right. And
you felt
best. Right. What is best?
Yeah. Yeah.
The best interest. So you just spent a lot of time praying.
Yeah.
And trying to make the best decision for Keldon and Caleb as well, and for all our children.
Oh, for sure.
No matter what that might be, but just the best overall decision.
Well, of course, because for you as a parent, you know the entire situation, where people that are coming in and giving their opinions, they only know one particular thing that they're talking about. You know what I mean? They don't know. They have no idea. They just see Keldon play. Or you know what I mean? But they don't know him mentally, or they don't know the conversations that are going on with the coaches and the staff and the scouts and the mom and the agent. They have no idea. It's, you know what I mean? So you're right. As a parent, you just have to go with your gut and say, listen, this is what we're willing to do, and this is what we're going to push forward with.
That's right. That's right.
So I want people to understand what it means for a family to get ready for a night that could potentially change their lives. So what was it like for you and your family to prepare for draft night?
Exciting initially. Very exciting. But then very stressful as we waited, because we thought that Keldon would go a lot sooner than he did. So we're all like on pins and needles, just kind of waiting. But, God, I just thank God, because God does not make any mistakes. I think he went to a wonderful, I just can't say enough about the Spurs and the Spurs family. So I think he was where he needed to be.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about Pop and the coaching staff. Even down to the wardrobe. Keldon changed his wardrobe. Who would have thought? He had on the Spurs colors. So I just feel like even when we don't know, I know that God knows.
Yeah.
Even down to the little details. Mm-hmm. So I do. I just have to give all honor and praise to God. But I can honestly say I would want to relive that experience, because it was quite stressful sitting there, just kind of waiting, not knowing and knowing.
And a lot of people don't understand the pressure of draft night, right? Here your son was projected to go, he was a lottery pick. That's then his stock started dropping during the night.
Yes.
That's crazy.
His father was like, oh, I've got to go to the bathroom. And so then after the draft, she's probably going to kill me for telling you this, but after the draft, we were like in the hallway, and he just, I think the whole process was so overwhelming for my husband that he was not able to make it to the bathroom, and he vomited. And he told this lady, he was like, excuse me, and she wouldn't move out of the way. And it was not good. I think he wished she would have moved when he asked.
She should have listened.
She should have listened. So, but yeah, it was quite an experience. And now I don't, I don't know that I want to relive that. Just with the stress. I mean, it was good to
No,
experience, but in the end, it was quite stressful. But it turned out for the best, you know?
yeah. No, I understand 1,000,000% where you're coming from. And it is stressful. And everybody thinks it's just for the kids, right? But for us as parents, it's everything because this is our children's livelihoods. You know what I mean? And not only that, we know that disappointment for them is completely different with, you know what I mean, with our type of disappointment or how we handle disappointment. I mean, they're young, they're in their 20s or not even sometimes, right? So
That's right. That's right.
he said,
Yeah.
NBA is all I want.
Yeah.
So it's such a blessing, like you're saying, that his steps were ordered to play basketball.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
And landed him um, with the Spurs. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't ask
Yes.
for a better coach and a better
That's a,
place for him to be. I mean, it's an honor that he's in the NBA, but um, definitely, I think the Spurs is a great fit.
so the organizations that our children usually play for we hope that they're always a great fit for our kids.
Yes.
But as a parent, we want them to be a good fit for us.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that you fit in with the Spurs parents?
Um, Great. I mean, I don't have any issues at all. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, the Spurs is a great organization. I feel like they look out for the players,
Yeah.
and their families as well. Um, like for Mother's Day, I think it was Mother's Day, they sent flowers. So I'm like, oh, that's so nice. They didn't have to do that. So just the small things. But I think they're a great organization, and I'm happy that Keldon has the opportunity to play for them.
Yeah. So before Keldon got into the NBA, his opinion about the NBA was that the game was much faster than college ball and more physical. So, how did he adjust himself to get ready now to play on a level among so many veterans and high skilled players?
Um, I think that Kentucky did a great job at preparing him, so he had a very smooth transition. And I don't know that he had, I mean, any real surprises because I think he was ready. I think he was ready mentally and physically, just with the training um, that he got to get him, ready for the next level. So I think he
Yeah.
was ready. He has never complained at all about, having to go to workouts or do any of it. So I think that definitely he was prepared.
Yeah. I did a lot of research on your son, and everything that I've noticed, or something that was very common, was that people would say that he was never afraid. He's not afraid of anything. He's not
Mm-mm.
afraid of any challenges. And he said, he's like, I'm good. Everything, it is what it is. And he's just
Yeah,
always willing to put himself in a great situation and play and do what he has to do, which is a great, great, great mindset. And you
yeah,
know what? Like you're saying, well, we don't want to forget to mention that he went 29th in the draft. And thank God the Spurs recognized, his
right.
talents and said,
That's right.
thank you, everybody else. The
That's
team
right.
that, the teams that he didn't work out for that
That's
just
right.
bypassed him. They're like,
That's right.
good, good. And they're probably praying, get to 29, get to 29, get to 29.
That's right.
So, yeah, so they're probably thanking everybody else because when looking at the way your son plays, it seems like it is a good situation for him.
It is.
And that's what you want. And
That's
especially
right.
rookie year.
That's right. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
because it is a lot to learn. Just you know, as a family, the next steps we need to take and getting everything organized and getting things in place so that Keldon can do a job and meet his expectations. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's true. It's not the same of just getting a briefcase and going to work, right?
that's right.
It's
That's
not the
right.
same type of job. So
That's right.
So speaking of his rookie year, he spent time with their affiliates G League team, the
Yeah.
Austin Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Then he made his debut a few weeks later. So share your experience, what it was like for you to finally see him
On that
play in
stage.
the NBA.
Oh, exciting. I mean, I can't even put into words.
Yeah.
Just like in awe, you know, to see your son do what he loves to do best.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, on TV. It's like, that's my son, you know, that's my big head boy, you know, my go-getter, you know, so it is. It's like so surreal, like, wow, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was great because he was playing on the G League team and he was fantastic. And then here he goes, you know what I mean? Then he goes up to the NBA and he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, but I guess you weren't shocked, right? So
no, because I know he's going to put the work in, and like you said, he doesn't back down. Doesn't back down from any challenges.
Yeah,
he's just like ready to go face them. Let's go. Let's win.
So now let's talk about that T-shirt.
Okay.
So your son is an Olympian. So tell us what it means to you that he is currently in Tokyo representing USA.
I know. It's still so surreal. When I found out, I mean, tears just came to my eyes, and I'm still like, I can't believe Keldon is in the Olympics. I mean, this is like huge. This is what every child dreams of, you know, much less a parent to watch their child on the stage to represent their country. I mean, this is just to be there. I mean, speechless, just overjoyed. All I can do is just praise God, like, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like he deserves it because Keldon truly works hard. And like I told him, I can't think of anybody else who deserves it more because he truly is a hard worker.
Yeah. So tell us, where does he get that hard work ethic from?
Gosh, I think a good combination from myself and his dad. Yeah, and I think that, you know, we've always complimented each other. I made sure that their dad did the disciplinary, you know, made sure the sports and all that, and I made sure that they were academically sound and ready.
Absolutely.
So it does. It takes a team, and I think I think all my family and friends, and especially, you know, my parents who have supported us along the way through this entire journey.
Yeah.
They're enough.
And you're right, it is a journey.
It is. It really is.
It's a journey that comes with a lot of blessings and, you know, I mean, a lot of challenges. So with that, there are a lot of moms of amateur players that want to be in your shoes. So tell us about a blessing you have encountered, as well as a challenge you would tell them to try to avoid.
Gosh. Well, I would say it's been a blessing that we've been able to travel to places that we might not have otherwise gone to. And not only that, we were able to bring my parents who are older, and they just love their grandbabies. I mean, just love their grandbabies. The whole conversation consists of nothing but their grandbabies. It has been a blessing that they were able to come along and support us. And it's been a blessing for us to be able to meet new people, make new friendships, make new connections. As far as avoiding, I would just make sure that other parents, listen to their children, support them in their dream. Of course, it comes with a lot of sacrifices when you are trying to juggle, work, school for them. Just you wear a lot of different hats, being a mom, working, your kids going to school, traveling, especially like with AAU or when they go to college if they're not close by. So just trying to juggle all that can be a challenge, and just guard, in my opinion, guard who they have in their ear, because, other people may not mean well, but of course you're going to want to do what's best for your child. So just kind of guard who you have in their ear, and just have a, open mind, a listening ear, and pray. Stay humble, pray.
Pray is everything.
That's right.
So much has happened over the past year in basketball, with the league coming to a halt, players not being able to play the sport they love, to later playing in a bubble, and so much more. The pressure of this rose for many, many players and families. So how did you as mom support Keldon so that he remained focused and ready for no matter what?
Well, the main thing is that, like you said, I covered, him and my family in prayer, kept the lines of communication open, made sure he had a good support team around him, especially since we can't be there all the time. So that's important. Just tried to make sure that all his needs were met. And, he just had everything he needed.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. And that's important.
This pandemic has been pretty stressful for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. It's just for us as parents, right? Because it's new for everybody. And, I look at our kids and they expect us to know everything. Although when we tell them advice, they act like we don't know anything.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
But there's
Yeah.
The first one to call you if they need something. But you're right. When you're trying to direct them in the right direction, they may not be. So they're like, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Like you're saying, they're the first to call us when they need something. But when you call them and tell them something, they don't want to hear no part of it. But you look at the pandemic, and it must have been tough. You know what I mean? Well, I say it's tough for parents too, because here, this is a situation that nobody knows what to do with. And then our kids come to us and say, what do I do? And we're like, I don't know.
Right.
I've never lived with no virus before. So, and I could just imagine, what do you say to your child when they're like, I'm bored, I can't do this anymore, this is tough. I mean, the conversations I had with my son at the beginning when everything shut down. And I remember him saying, oh man, it's been like 20 days. Oh man, it's been like 30 days. And I saw that it started to really bother him, really bother him. You know what I mean? He was like, oh, there's only so much I can play in my, you know what I mean, in my driveway, and I'm bored. I just want to get to practice. And I need this. And I was like, wow. Right. You know what I mean? It's like their lifeline.
That's right. Keldon seemed to cook well and, worked out a lot at home, did what he could.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was really tough. And Keldon actually had COVID. And as a mom, it just freaked me out. Like, I wanted to be with him. I was like calling, he wouldn't answer the phone. And I'm just, somebody needs to get there. I was ready to drive there.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure. And my husband had the same, and my family was like, Rochelle, he's going to be fine. He's got the best care around him. Because, I wanted to answer, right then. I want to know, me being a nurse, I was like, what is his oxygen level? What is his temperature? I'm going through that whole thing. He needs to answer the phone. What are they doing? Or does he have, medical staff? They're like, of course, medical staff and everything he needs there. But I was ready to pack my bags and drive to Charlotte to say, here, what do you need? Because, it doesn't matter how old they get. They,
Right.
my children will always be my babies, always.
Love it.
So that was stressful, not being able to nurture him like I wanted
Yeah.
to, or be right there
Yes.
with them. So that for me was hard. And I was like, I need you to FaceTime, because I was like, if I could just see his face, I know, I can tell if he's okay or what. So yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like not being able to be hands-on right there by the side. So that was hard for me, really hard for me. I'm like, well, I need to knock on that door. I need to answer the phone. When he was rested, because he was, tired, really tired from it. So, but that was hard. Just not being able to be right at his bedside and be able to see him and make sure that he's okay.
Of course, and that's the mom.
Trust him with somebody else, not knowing I didn't like that.
It's funny you say that, because it's true. We don't want to trust our kids with somebody else. I mean, think of it. We did it when they went to college.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was new, but the situation was new. I mean, I don't blame you, because I would have been like, girl, let me get you a hazmat suit so you can get in your car. Listen, your hazmat suit and your purse, and get going and go get your child.
That's right.
Get your child.
And my mother said, well, Rochelle, when you get down there, I'm going to see him, I'm just like ready, like, we can just be down there and just to get, but he was just like, okay, you need to try to relax and calm down. Keldon's in good hands. And I'm over here thinking, you don't know. Mm-hmm. I'll be up in Charlotte trying to get up in that hotel room where my baby is. Make sure he's good. But thank God he ended up, he was fine.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you. Your baby's in the hotel room 201 and you're in room 202 yelling through the wall. Yeah. I listen, people got to know. People have to know.
I just wanted to make sure that, they were up, which they were. It's just, as a mom, you're just like thinking all these different scenarios. I just wanted to make sure that and I guess it was just hard because of the unknowns and the fact that you can't go and see them, So
it's true. And like you said, no matter how old our kids are, right? We just
always my babies. Always.
Yeah.
I'm telling them, you're always my babies. And that's why I think like that Christmas is, I'm like a kid in a candy store. All my kids are there. A kid in a candy store. I line up all the stuff for us to do, like games, because Keldon, Spurs are very competitive, and so we'll play like little games, because I knew that it would come to a point where at Christmas I wouldn't have them all together.
Yes.
Under one roof.
Yeah.
But you talk about a kid in a candy store at Christmas time, when I felt like all of us could be together, because I thought one day everybody's going to have to be doing their own thing, and I won't have this. So it is, as a mom. Unless you're a mom, you just don't understand.
That's it. So tell us, who is Keldon off the court?
Gosh, just this outgoing, caring person. I mean, he just, like I said, he's never met a stranger. He's loud, full of energy, very competitive. He even came into the world screaming. Like, when I gave birth to him, he was screaming his head off. And the doctor said, gosh, she has got a temper. Where did you get that from? Chris and I are looking at each other like, we don't know. That's kind of defines who he is. He came into the world just screaming his little head off. And so, he's just fun, loving, very caring person, very outgoing, very likable. Like, everybody loves Keldon.
Yeah.
And Caleb, all of them. But he just, and like I said, they're totally different.
Yeah. But
very likable. Always joking, always playing. Just a joy to be around,
Of course.
Yeah.
Heard he's a singer.
He think he is.
Yeah, he said I'm a singer and he loves Mariah Carey.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. During Christmas, I had like a fake mic. He would be singing and just having a good old time.
That's priceless. That stuff you got to put online. Yes. Yes. Yes.
We have a video. We have a video of him singing when we visited the coach at NC State. We're at his house. Mm-hmm. And you should see Keldon singing and dancing. It is so funny. And all I can do is just crack up. He is just a clown. So fun.
But you know what? And I love that. And that's the stuff that sometimes the fans need to see.
Oh,
because, you know what I mean? So they understand who our boys are, like who they really are, just as people, not as basketball players. You know what I mean? Right. That's an addition to who they really are. Let's see their personalities.
That's right. So he has a very fun and loving personality.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
infectious. I mean, he's just,
the one thing I like when I research about players, I look at their activities and what they like to do. And he's the only one that I found so far that loves to fish.
Yes.
I was blown away.
Yes.
Yeah. And hunt.
Yeah. Yes. He loves to hunt. I mean, he has killed a rattlesnake, I think, and they cooked it. I'm just like, oh my word. I mean, here, just the wild. He loves to, like you said, he does. Loves to fish and hunt. Caught a big shark. But of course, they, turned it back. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, wow, I was impressed.
Country boy, good old country.
Yeah, I was so impressed. Yeah. So earlier we spoke about your son, Caleb, who was recently drafted to the Austin Spurs to the G League this year. Yes. So tell us, what is it like for you to be the courtside moms to two talented basketball players?
It's just unbelievable. I mean, I just feel like at times I'm bursting at the seams, and just so proud of them both.
Yeah.
And almost in disbelief, like those are my babies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, I'm so proud of all of them, all of my children. But yes, I'm very, very proud of them. And Caleb is very talented as well. But he's smooth to me with his actions. Like, he's like a silent storm where Keldon is like a hurricane.
Yeah.
Just, but yeah, just extremely proud. And Caleb works hard as well. Very, very hard. Very, very intelligent. Very smart. He researches everything. Loves to read. Just he is gonna do well at wherever he lands, he will do well, extremely well.
Well, hearing your love for the organization is a blessing that he too is in the same organization. Yeah. So good for you that both of your babies are on the same spot. So
it makes it a lot easier,
Yeah, I can imagine.
In the spot together, but yes.
So we're going to do some fun facts now.
Uh-oh.
What was Keldon's go-to dish that you make that he must always have?
Oh, gosh. Probably fried chicken.
I love it. I watched something today and he said, my mama knows when I come home, she's got to make me fried chicken and mashed potatoes. And he said mac and cheese and string beans. I was like, wow. I'm sitting there like, I need to meet Rochelle because it's like this is just a come home dinner. I can only imagine Christmas and Thanksgiving and everything else. I'm like, good Lord. So what is one childhood item that he couldn't live without other than a basketball?
Gosh, gosh, I would say his action figures.
Hmm.
He had these little wrestling men that he always carried around with him. So I would have to say his action figures. Yeah.
I'm just curious, what got him into fishing? Like, when did he really pick up his first fishing rod and said, I like this?
Yes. Here he had a friend that actually in high school that looked up to him because at the time this little fellow was kind of petite in stature, and I think he would get picked on. So Keldon kind of just took him under his wing. Well, anyway, he would go fishing with that young man.
Ah, it's amazing. And look at that. Ends up being activity that he absolutely loves.
Yes. Yeah.
Did he have a nickname? And if so, what was it?
Peanut.
Oh. do you still call him Peanut now?
I don't. But his friends would call him Peanut, yeah.
Yeah. So now you're going to tell us some advice. What advice would you give to another courtside mom about dealing with a coaching decision that she does not agree with?
Oh, gosh. Pray about it. And process it. And I guess make the best of it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's not her decision, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Now, what advice would you give to a player on how to deal with a tough teammate?
Gosh. Confront the situation.
Yeah.
Head on, just maybe not in front of somebody, but maybe pull them aside. Hey, let me talk to you about this,
Yeah.
What's going on? Try to get down to the bottom of it. Or what can I do to make things better?
Yeah.
And sometimes people are, I guess, can have other things going on. The reason, they're behaving the way they are. So maybe something underlying it, you never know. But I would say definitely pull that person to aside and address it.
Right.
It's head on,
So my last question for you answered it a bit, but I just want to know, in addition to, if you could give only one piece of advice to another courtside mom, what would it be?
I would say just support your child. Be there for them. Be there for them. Be in their ear.
Yeah.
Just support them all the way around. Be that listening ear. Support, I think, is a big thing. Be there for them, because they need you.
That's right. That's right.
The support would be the biggest thing.
Yeah. So pretty much don't forget to be mom.
That's right.
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what it is.
That's right.
Yeah. Your mom first, second, third, it doesn't matter. Right. You're always mom, right?
And I often lose my identity, because I'm Keldon's mom, or Caleb's mom, Chrisland's mom, or Kyle's mom, or Chris's wife. I'm never Rochelle.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm mom. So that's what everybody identifies. There's Keldon's mom. How's Keldon doing? And I'm so proud of her. So Keldon's.
It's true.
Mom at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if I have to be that mama bear. Yeah.
You were, but you know what? You're really telling us and showing us the importance of a mom's role and what we really do and who we really are. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the expectation.
Juggle a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Make a lot of sacrifices for our family. To make it happen.
Sometimes people don't know.
I'll climb mountains for mine.
Yeah. It's so true. no matter what the mountain is, right? And I think as a mom, we don't think about it. We just do it.
That's right. That's right.
And it is what it
is. Journey, it is a lot of, you have to sacrifice a lot. You know, your weekends, your summers.
Yeah.
Your evenings. It's a lot. It's a lot involved. And especially when you have multiple kids and multiple kids that are involved in sports.
Yeah. That's true. That is so true.
But I love every minute of it. And I wouldn't take any of that back for anything in the world.
That's right. You wouldn't have it any other way, right?
I sure wouldn't. Not any other way. No, ma'am.
Oh, you're such a blessing, Rochelle. Thank you so much. I feel so blessed to sit here and listen to you talk about your kids with so much love and pride and joy. It really is so nice to hear. I love doing this show because I get to learn so much from other moms and their situations and their feelings and what they went through and how they handled situations. Because again, everything you say to me, I take it to heart because it could be something that I need to do, something that I could be like, okay, maybe this will work with me and my son, and get on the phone and say, listen, maybe we should try this.
That's right. That's right. Just keep those lines of communication open and support them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be that listening ear. Be there. Just like I said, support. Be there for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure they get what they deserve and what they need.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. And I thank you for that wonderful advice. And thank you for coming on Courtside, Mom.
No problem. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Courtside Moms and make sure you subscribe to the podcast. I do it naturally.